Welcome to the second tutorial over web-based Google Drive. In this tutorial, I'll be covering how to create Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides, and then how to share them with others. To begin, you want to make sure that you're logged into your Google account. So I'm going to log into the Google account that I created in the first tutorial. And here it's just showing me I haven't gone through the account settings yet, so it's prompting me to do so. I'm going to ignore that for now, and I want to go to the menu for the apps and choose Drive. Okay, so here is my Google Drive again. Now, your view may be a little different. This is the new Google Drive. Instead of a red new button, if you have a create button and a little arrow next to that, that is the older version of Google Drive. You can switch your view by coming over to the gear for the settings, and you could then click on use new drive and it would be there. And see, it's giving me I can leave the new drive if I want. I'm going to stay on this view. Okay, so here's that sample folder that I had created in the first tutorial. There's that document that we were given when we first signed up on how to get started with our Google Drive. And what I want to focus on first is creating a Google document. So I'm going to go to the New button and go to Google Docs. When I do this, it opens up a second tab at the top. You can see a second Internet tab. And now I'm in a Google document. You want to make sure that you rename your document. So I'll click on Rename or Untitled Document to rename it in the top left corner. And I'm going to name this, I'm going to give it a different name, Questions, and click OK. Alright, so I'm going to put a question in here. And I'm cheated a little there. I already had it typed out and copied, and so I just pasted it in. And once I have some text typed out, I can select my text and format it. If you've used Word before, you will have no problems going in and figuring out where the font is located, the font size, the different styles in your bolding, italicizing. All your basic formatting needs are across the top. And then you also have some more menus across the top that you can go through. You can insert images, hyperlinks, drawings, tables, footnotes, things of that nature. You can go through that on your own time and look and see what is available to you. So I am going to format this just a little bit. And I'm going to make it just a little bigger here. Oh, that's a lot bigger. And I want to change color. Okay, so now I have created a document. All of the changes are being saved. So every time that you are making a change inside your document, it's automatically saving to your Google Drive. As soon as you created this document, it is now in the Google Drive. So there is no save button. You don't have to spend time looking for that. It's already saved. I'd like to take now and share this with another Google user. So in the top right corner, I'm going to click on Share. Right now you can see it's only private, so I'm the only one who can see it. I want to share this. Now, they do not have to be Google users. You can send this to any other email address out there, and they can click on the link and they can still view it. They do not have to have a Google account. However, for this tutorial, I'm using my secondary Google account that I have, and I'm going to send it to that account. And I want this person to edit it, so I'm leaving it on Can Edit. Remember we talked about before you can change this, but I want to leave it to Can Edit and Send. It says it's been shared with one person, and I'm going to close this Google document. I'm going to close the tab and it's gone. Now you can see your Google Drive is back, and there's that questions document. I could reopen it by simply double-clicking on it, and there it is. If I wanted, I could look at all the Google Docs that I have created in just the Google Docs app. I don't even have to go to the Google Drive. Over in this top left corner, this little blue menu, if I click on that, that'll take me to my Docs home. It looks a lot like your Google Drive, but it will only show you the documents that you've created, the docs, not the sheets, not the slides or anything else. This is just Google Docs. I'm going to close that tab again, and I'm back to my Google Drive. Now remember, your Google Drive will house everything. It'll have all the pictures you've uploaded. It'll have all the sheets, all the presentations and documents that you have. Okay, so I'm going to check that secondary Google account. So I'm going to open up a Chrome, my Google Chrome browser. And you can see this is a different account up here in the top left corner. And I'm going to check my Gmail for that account. And there's that email that was sent to me by Jonesy Teacher. And I can click on it to open. And it says that I've been invited to edit the following document. And here it is. I can click on the name of the document or even open in Docs. When I open it in Docs, it opened up a second tab. And now I'm actually in my secondary account's Google Docs. I want to make some editing changes to this. I'm going to make some suggestions. So if I click on the editing button, I can change this from editing to suggesting. Now I'm in suggestion mode, so wherever I click, I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to type, do you really want to ask that question? And you can see it's popped up over here. I'm saying, do you really want to ask that question? And I'm asking Jonesy Teacher that. So once I'm done, this is actually automatically saved in the other drive. The updates are automatically done. So what I'm going to do is just close this document, and I'm going to close this other secondary account, Google account. Okay, so now if you just look up in the top right hand corner, I'm back to that Jonesy Teach Gmail, my other Google account, my new one. And here's that questions document. So if I double click on it, I can see, oh, okay, look, there was a suggestion made here. And do I really want to ask that question? I can accept that suggestion or I can reject the suggestion. So if I accept it, what it does is it changed its formatting to match what I have located or already in my document, and there it is. It's added that to it. This would be one way that if you typed in some questions, you could ask your students to comment even on it. It doesn't have to be through editing and suggesting. You could ask them, leave it open for comments, and they can comment. So maybe what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a comment in this. And I can even see, okay, here was a suggestion made. Here the suggestion was accepted. And I will put in here, why not Halloween, and reply to it. And you can start a thread of questioning here or inside of the document, depending on what kind of document you've created. Okay, so I'm going to pause just for a moment. I'm going to pause the video and get it set up so you can see Google Sheets. Okay, after that quick little pause there, all I did was just close the Google Doc that I had open, and so I'm back to my Google Drive. I'm going to click on the New button. This time I want to create a Google Sheet. If you have used Excel before, then just like with Word and Google Docs, this Google Sheet is like Excel. It does have some of the same formatting capabilities. You would need to go through and explore the menus and see what all you can accomplish with it. But I'm going to go ahead and just type some gibberish in a few of these. And then in the cell located over here in D4, I'm going to put a comment. I'm going to add a comment here and say, I don't like this cell. And then, I haven't named my spreadsheet yet, but remember, it's still saving all my changes. I'm going to name my spreadsheet. It'll just be very simple and name it Sheet. And I'm going to share this one more time with my other secondary account. I want to leave it opening for editing, and I'm going to send that off. It's been shared with that one person. All the changes have been saved in the drive. And if I close this tab for Google Sheets, you can see that it's located right there. It's right there next to that PDF, And I've got the folder, I've got the Google document that I created, and the Google Sheet. Just like the Google Doc, if I double click on the sheet and open it back up again, I can click on the little green menu up in the top left for Sheets Home. And this shows me all the sheets that I've created. Again, it narrows down only the spreadsheets that have been created in your Google Sheets. This does not list your documents or your slides. If you want to see everything that you've created, you would close that and go back to your Google Drive so you can see all the documents you've done. Okay, so I'll go back to my Google Chrome, and I'm still in my Gmail with my secondary account, so I'm just going to go back to my inbox. You can see that's the first email that I received, and now here's the second email, the Sheets. Open that. I'm going to open in Sheets, and I can look at it, and this little arrow here indicates that there was a comment made on this cell, and I can see that Jonesy Teach made a comment at 10:50 a.m. today. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to reply to this. I'm actually going to type in a number into the cell. Oh, there we go. And now I'm going to reply. Okay, so I typed in a number, and I'm going to reply. So that way they can see that I typed it in, and I'm done. It's already saved all the changes. If I wanted to make any more, I could make more comments if I needed. But I'm done with this sheet, so I'm going to close the sheet. And now I'll go back to my other browser. So now I'm back as Jonesy Teach. And if I open up that sheet that I had just shared and my other person made changes to, I can see, look, the 100 has been put in there. We've worked collaboratively on this, sharing it back and forth while it saves all the time, automatically. And it even says last edit was made seconds ago by Jessica Jones, my secondary Gmail. And I can see, oh, okay, she typed in a number. And I can resolve this, or I can even leave the comment there, but I'm going to click resolve. And that really hid the discussion. But if I still wanted to see it, I could click on comments, and here's a discussion that we were having. And I could actually reopen the discussion. Maybe I don't like the number that she had typed in there. I could reopen it and say, I don't like that number, change it. And we can share and work back and forth collaboratively. Keep in mind, once it's shared, you don't have to share it again. The person still has the link. They have the sheet or the document already in their drive. And as they work on it, because you have opened the sharing as the owner of the document, they can make changes, and you can see those changes as you work collaboratively. Okay, so I'm going to close the Google Sheets tab. And just really quickly, we'll look at Google Slides. It has all the same sharing capabilities. If you've used PowerPoint before, looks a lot like PowerPoint. You can choose your themes. You can go through and add in more slides, different types of slides, layouts. Again, you would want to come through and just explore it. It does, though, have all the same, or most of the same capabilities as Microsoft PowerPoint. And you would want to share it, and you can go through and, again, work collaboratively with another person. I'm just going to give it a name, and I'm going to close the Google Slides. I'm not going to bother with sharing it. And you can see now I have it all listed here. Just like documents and sheets, if I open up that presentation, I can click on the menu in the top left corner and go to my Slides Home, and it will show you only the slides that I have created. And I can even create from here again, just like the other two applications. Okay, so that completes this video tutorial over using your Google Drive to share and how to create docs, presentations, and sheets inside of that. And there will be a third video following up using not just the web-based version, but putting Google Drive on your multiple devices.